All right, good afternoon. Today we have an interesting one. Oh boy, we got the man himself, BB. Grandfather of all time and our new supreme leader, I guess. So let's see what he's got to say. Some say he's dead. I don't know. I don't know, man. But this is allegedly from Thursday, so let's just go ahead and take a look at what he's got to say, and then we'll be extremely critical of it. Remember, this channel does not choose a side. Well, we do technically choose a side. The third pillar, if you will, which acknowledges that left versus right is a mind control paradigm. So let's go ahead and begin. It's going to be at 1.5 speed because it gets very droll and boring. I don't know. I haven't watched this yet, so this is a pure live react for you.
Welcome to the Foreign Press. First of all, I just want to say, I'm alive, and you're all witnesses.
There you go. Okay.
Now that I've dispatched this piece of fake news, I want to give you an update on Operation Roaring Lion. Under President Trump's visionary leadership, America and Israel are acting together in Iran with great determination and unprecedented strength. Operation Rising Lion is designed to remove the existential threats posed by the Ayatollah regime, the regime that has waged war against America and Israel and the people of Iran for 47 years.
He almost had a Freudian slip there of threat, and, you know, he wanted to say we're posing a threat to them, I think. I don't know.
Death to America, death to Israel, and it delivers.
It's the same story. 47 years, 47 years of threats.
One, removing the nuclear threat. Second, removing the ballistic missile threat, and removing both of these threats before they're buried deep underground and become immune from aerial attack. And third, this means creating the conditions for the Iranian people to grasp their freedom, to control their destiny. Today, the Ayatollah regime is not only attacking America, not only attacking Israel, not only attacking the Iranian people, it is attacking the entire Middle East and beyond. They've attacked civilians and Americans and American assets in Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, and they've even attacked through their proxies Cyprus and Europe. We've warned for decades that their ballistic missile program would be used to attack.
You know, I'm not much of a team sports guy, you know, so this whole idea of, like, they're attacking my team, like, oh, they attacked us, so, like, let's fucking go. I don't know, it's just, getting personally offended by the country you're in. I mean, I get it to a point. Then again, you know, I've never been given much incentive in life to love America, so to speak. It's kind of just been struggle and harassment the whole time. So I struggle to identify with this idea of country, of like, well, they threatened us, so let's go. Like, yeah, well, you're the biggest, fattest guy on the block, so of course people are going to threaten you. You know, I feel like the type of people who call for war are the ones who can't get trolled online. You know, they just like, I fucked your mom, they type, and it's just like, oh, you son of a bitch, and then they just go nuclear and like actually do something about it instead of just like, okay, buddy, and move on. You know what I mean? But hey, that's me. I'm an idiot, so don't, this is not an advice channel.
These targets far and wide, and if they're not stopped, that's just the beginning. The death cult in Iran is trying to blackmail the world by closing a key international maritime route, the Straits of Hormuz. It won't work. Israel is helping in its own way, and intel and other means, the American effort to open the Straits of Hormuz, rather.
Oh!
But I want to ask you to imagine
Straits of Tehran, huh?
Would be able to blackmail the entire world if they had ballistic missiles with nuclear warheads. Just imagine what they would do. Look at what they're doing now, and imagine what they would do if they had ballistic missiles.
Imagine.
International range ballistic.
He's got a little bit of a herpes
nuclear-tipped warheads. Just imagine
going on
what
there.
a great threat that would be. So today, Israel and the United States are protecting America, Israel, the entire Middle East, but I venture to say the entire world. Despite the fake news that is unfortunately being spread since the start of the war 20 days ago, we are winning, and Iran is being decimated. Iran's missile and drone arsenal is being massively degraded and will be destroyed.
Get my hair right
Hundreds
today.
of their launchers have been destroyed. Their stockpiles of missiles are being hit hard,
It's
and so are the industries
day,
that produce them. That's important. In rising line, we
I like
destroyed
it a little
missiles
messier. I
and
don't
destroyed
like
a
it
lot of
too
the
uniform.
nuclear
I feel like
infrastructure.
I look like this guy
But what
then.
we're
You know what I
destroying
mean?
now
I need a little
are
shag to
the
it.
factories that produce the components to make these missiles and to make the nuclear weapons that they're trying to produce. We're wiping out their
How
industrial
many
base
times have you
in a
heard
way that we
these
didn't do
talking
before.
points, though? It's just so
Iran's air
tired at
defenses
this
have been rendered
point.
useless. Their navy is lying at the bottom of the sea.
We get it, dude.
They will hit the other part
Bottom
of
of the
the
sea.
Caspian
There
Sea.
it is again on
Their Air
this
Force is
channel.
nearly
That's our
destroyed.
favorite quote.
Iran's command and control structure is in utter chaos.
Bottom of the
And
sea.
I can tell you that there's still more work to do.
It's at
and
the
we're gonna
bottom
do
of the strait, not the sea.
And I want to
But,
close these opening remarks with one other fake news, and that is that Israel somehow dragged the U.S. into a conflict with Iran. Does anyone really think that someone can tell President Trump what to do? Come on. President Trump always makes his decisions on what he thinks is good for America, and may I add, I think what is also good for future generations. In this case, those interests are absolutely clear, and so is the clarity of our achievements. Together in close coordination with
To summarize, what's good for Israel will be good for America.
President Trump, close coordination between America and Israel.
What's the
Our
name of
militaries, our
their
intelligence
city
services,
in the
we're
Matrix
achieving
that they
goals
live at?
in lightning speed. But I want to say another word. It's been said that for 40 years, I've been saying that Iran is a danger to Israel and a danger to the world. That is true. You know who else said that? President Trump. 47 years ago, when the Iranian thugs took over the American embassy, he said how dangerous this regime is. In his first term in office, he didn't need any convincing. He said the Iranian nuclear deal was the worst deal that he'd ever seen, and he walked out of it. Right before his second term, before he was reelected, I went to see him in Mar-a-Lago. The first thing he said to me was,
We were on a vacation
Make
together.
sure that Iran doesn't have nuclear weapons. He said that to me. I didn't say it to him. He didn't need any convincing there either. Now, why did he say that? Because for more than 4 decades, this regime, as I said in the beginning of my remarks, is chanting death to Israel, death to America. But they say
You haven't
Israel
said
is only the
anything
small
else.
Satan
It's
standing
just
in their
been
way.
just
The
been
great
that
Satan
the whole
is the
time.
United States
The
of America.
danger of threat.
And these
They're
ideological
talking
fanatics,
shit,
these
so we need to
lunatics,
blow them
they
up.
find
Like,
their
I
reason
got
better.
it.
Their reason
Let's
for being
go.
is wiping out Western civilization and America that leads it. They have claimed the lives, they've maimed and wounded thousands of Americans. In Iraq and Afghanistan.
32,000.
They killed the American Marines in Beirut.
Don't
they bombed their
forget.
embassies. They
Here it
tried to
comes.
assassinate the American president, Donald Trump, not once, but twice. Now they blackmail for oil. Just imagine what they would do, what they're capable of doing, if these lunatics had nuclear.
You remember 2020, they kept saying, whenever you would complain about what was going on, they'd say, well, just imagine how bad it would have been if we didn't take these precautions. You know, we'd all be like screwed. Sorry, I was just readjusting the size of my window. I want a little bigger view here of this guy. So let's go ahead and continue.
Weapons and the means to deliver them to every American city and every European city and everywhere around the globe. This is a danger for the entire world. It's certainly a danger for Israel. It's certainly a danger for America. We see eye to eye on that. President Trump and I, Israel and America. But I think if people are honest, if leaders are honest, they would understand that we're not only fighting our fight, we're fighting their fight. I speak to dozens of world leaders. Dozens. They all know that. And privately.
Here's what's confusing to me is like, why not go on this tour of calling out Iran for talking shit before you begin the invasion? You know, and come out and do this speech before, like, plead your case, then attack. Because everyone's problem is they're salty that you attacked. Now you're explaining all this. That's what makes everybody butthurt. I don't know. It really would have changed the public perception, I think, if they went and talked about all this threats and the danger level and all this, you know, convinced us before they went ahead and just did it. Because then it's like everyone now feels violated, like, oh, you just went and did it without asking me. Not that I do. I know there's never gonna, to me, how the country should work, excuse me, is every single decision the president makes, we can go vote for. You know, like how they have a vote for a politician. There's the, should we go to Iran, war with Iran vote. And you go to the polling place and there's paper document says yes, no, and everyone goes and they either check yes or no. That's true democracy. You vote on every single order, decision, all of that. And it should be up to them to convince us one way or another without lying. But how can we ever vet their lies? We can't.
They all say that. They say that privately, but I say it publicly. The world owes a debt of deep indebtedness to President Trump for leading this effort to safeguard our future.
Thank
Questions?
you. We'll now take a few questions. The first question is from Zach Anders from Newsmax.
Mr. Prime Minister, Zach Anders, Newsmax.
They've muted Zach. I can't hear Zach's question. It looks like a long one, too. Oh boy, he's really cooking. Wow, that's
So I
shiesty.
think the question is, will the conditions be created for such a change? I think it's too early to say. And I think in the final account, as I said, it's up to the Iranian people to show that, to choose the moment and to rise to the moment. We can create the conditions, but they have to, they have to exploit those conditions at a certain point. It is often said that you can't do revolutions from the air. That is true. You can't do it only from the air. You can do a lot of things from the air, and we're doing, but there has to be a ground component as well. There are many possibilities for this ground component, and I take the liberty of not sharing with you all those possibilities.
Would you recognize Pahlavi if the people keep chanting for him in the streets?
Well, I'm not going to say who specifically is going to be there, but I think he's been a force for good. He's been trying to get the people to unite for a transitional government, a democratic transitional government, or a moderate transitional government. I hope that it comes to being. I think it's too early to say.
Next question from Richard Engel from NBC News.
So, can't tell you anything. Got it. Why are we muting the questions? That is so weird. What are we doing here?
As I said, decimate the. Well, I think we have concrete goals how to do it, how to end it. We wanted.
Like, I don't get to hear the question, so then I can't tell how he's waffling it.
Which we're doing.
That's
I think that,
shady.
those are goals
Forbes?
but I'm
What
not
are you
going to
doing with that one?
Stopwatch on it. I think we have.
Or is
we have
that
goals
like
that
coming
that
out
have
of
to be achieved.
Israel? I
We're
don't
not counting
know.
the
They're
days.
just getting the
But I will say
feed.
this:
I don't know, dude.
this canard that we drag the United States into it is not just a canard. It's ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. I mean, I think President Trump said it best, and I said it as well many times. There's always a danger in acting.
This
But in
guy's so
conditions of
corny
existential
and
threats,
political. I
there's a
mean,
much greater
you
danger
with this
in not
guy
acting.
giving his like hand
What
in
do you
the
think would have
pocket
happened
speech.
if America did not act now?
Whenever
imagine
a
what
person
would have
puts their hand in their
in a few
pocket,
months'
I
time,
immediately
no more
know
than a
they're
year.
lying.
Khamenei, still alive, would have ordered the beginnings of the new nuclear program and the reconstructed ballistic missile program to move underground. Now, it'll take them a little time, maybe a few years.
See, what's
but you
interesting
can't
is
reach
if
those programs.
if I was in a court case and I went to the judge and said, well, judge, I saw this guy across the street. He was totally going to rob me. I could tell because I've heard him make threats about robbing people before. So I had to go ahead and just shoot this guy because he was going to rob me. He was going to cross the street. He's going to come put a gun to me and say, give me all your money. So I had to preemptively take him out. It's kind of the angle we're going with here. And I mean, I get there's plenty of documented evidence of the Iranian terror network. I get it. That's why I'm not saying any certainties. But, like, to me, this is a sort of a it's unfair that they get to use, well, just imagine what he would have, and they would have done it as a pretext to take action. But I can't use that as a defense in court or when I'm talking to the police or when I'm in an altercation at work. I can't say, well, he obviously wants my job, so he's trying to get me fired. They say, you can't speak to his intentions. You don't know what a person's intentions are. You can't prove that. That's hearsay. That's hearsay. That's hearsay. Where's the hearsay? We're getting hearsayed and we just have to accept it? Hand in pocket? Never trust that hand. When that hand goes into that suit pocket, that's like, I'm just grandpa. That's like, that is an interesting question, and for it I shall give an answer. And that answer is as follows. Next question.
And they develop intercontinental ballistic missiles, okay? That means
Okay.
missiles that can hit Chicago and New York.
Ending sentences and affirmations. Right, okay. Look, we all know that Iran has nuclear weapons. Right? So, okay.
And Florida. And
You
Texas,
telling me what
and
to think,
California.
man?
Oh, but they don't have it yet. That's what people said. Right, let's wait.
Oh, but
Just
detractors.
let them do it, just wait.
The detractors said Iran doesn't have a missile. Okay? We know otherwise. All right?
Wait and let them do it. You won't be able to do it. It's the last moment. No, it takes a little time. I mean, you had a few months to prevent them from doing it and to just decimate these industries and perhaps achieve this transitional government in Iran.
I think perhaps some sort of proof of this, they were a month away from nuking the world thing would also be helpful. Maybe some, like, footage of them actually getting a missile together or something, any sort of
So you sit back and you
proof.
say, well, it's not going to happen in the next Thursday, so let's
But
not
can
act.
anything
I
can
tell you
never,
that there's
you can never
enormous
trust
risk
anything
in
that
not
comes through
acting.
the
Much
screen.
greater
That's
risk
as
in
far
acting.
as I'm
And if you
concerned.
think that the oil markets are in trouble today,
It's
think of Iran,
it's
nuclear weapons,
possible,
and the
and
means
you
to
can
deliver.
judge the likelihood that
Then think
it's
of the
real,
blackmail that you would endure.
but
I didn't exactly ask, however.
Okay, we're going to go to the next
to
question.
trust the screen is a
This is a serious
fool's
subject.
What is this? What is it?
error.
No, go ahead. That's, go ahead, ask.
Of course, but there are oil fields around the world that are burning. Gas prices are going up. The war is popular here in Israel, is not popular with many Americans. My question was, how do you see this ending? Not why, not even when. What do you imagine the day after?
Well, we have achievable goals, and I'm not going to speak about the full battle plans that we have with the United States. We're well coordinated with them. I will say this: that once we achieve our goals, then I have argued. I think, and Americans understand this very well.
Once
because
we're
real partners.
successful,
I
and
think
we
that
will
what
be,
has to be done.
we'll
is to
have a new
alternative
world
routes.
order.
Instead of going through the choke points of the Hormuz Straits and the Bab el-Mandeb Straits, in order to have the flow of oil, just have oil pipelines, gas pipelines going west through the Arabian Peninsula, right up to Israel, right up to our Mediterranean ports, and you've just done away with the choke points forever. That is
I like
definitely
this
possible. So I
perspective
see that
better.
as I see that as a real change that will follow this war. But I also see this war ending a lot faster than people think. I think you have to, in war, you have to grit your teeth. Churchill said,
Grit your teeth.
democracies
Uh-oh, the
suffer from the
Churchill
slumber
quotes.
of democracy.
Churchill alert! Churchill alert! Ding, 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 ding! Churchill alert! Whenever they quote
And they only
Churchill,
wake
take
up,
a shot,
when they wake up,
everybody.
only when they hear the gong, the jarring gong of danger is the way he put it. Well, you're hearing the jarring gong of danger. The jarring
I
gong of
wasn't,
danger
though.
is
That's the
Iran gets
problem.
nuclear
That's the
weapons.
problem. You need to convince me first that the gong of danger is ringing, and then we'll be all in. But you did the opposite. You shot a guy in the face, and now you're trying to convince me he was gonna blow you up. It's a tough sell. It's a tough sell. Not even a used car salesman such as yourself, I don't think, could pull it off. But, go ahead and try, all right? Get your hand in your pocket, get your old man pipe out. The thing is, you see, it's very dangerous times. Not that I'm speaking in opposition, I mean...
Weapons and ballistic missiles.
They're gonna do what they're gonna do. I don't know. Just try not to participate and put your energy into evil. That's all you can do, Your attention and emotional intent is energy that feeds a demon. So, let's say I get real, think of 2001. They got everybody so angry. And that anger energy spiraled into this explosive force. And it's almost like they're trying to do that again. It's like they're Osama bin Ladening,
That's not a jarring
but with a whole country this time. It's like this country is just a terrorist stand. But do we hold the people? What is a country? Is it the land? Is it the people? If there's all the people in Iran disappeared and it was just the desert and shit, would it still be called Iran? I don't know. Definitions are very loose, and I feel like a lot of people don't define things to themselves of what is a country, what is a society?
gong. That is
What is humanity? Everything in the entire world is just humans making decisions and interacting with one another. If that all stopped, there would be no society, there would be no countries, there would be none of this stuff. You go out into the woods where there's no people, and what's happening there? Are the animals? There's little squirrels waving flags around in the street, and they're just ant colonies are nuking each other. Doesn't happen. They just do their thing, and that's it. Live in balance. This is out of balance. Look at how unbalanced. Even his face speaks to the imbalance. They say I don't know where it's from, but one side of your face tells who you want to be perceived as, the other side says how you really feel. That's why people with symmetry are more attractive, because we trust them. I mean, look at this guy. Look at the left and right of his face, how different they are. Shockingly so.
an apocalypse. Don't let it happen. And the function of leaders is to stand and tell people the truth, even when things are uncomfortable. That's what you have to do. And you don't always see the danger in time. But leaders are tasked with the task of seeing danger in time and acting on it. And I hope that in time, people will see the wisdom and the courage of President Trump's decision and his leadership, and the fact that we're working together. America is not fighting for Israel. America is fighting with Israel for a common goal, to protect our future, to protect civilization against these barbarians.
Next
Barbarians,
question, one question,
whoa.
Guy Azriel from I-24 News.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Guy Azriel, I-24 News. President Trump said today he did not like the Israeli strike on the Iranian gas fields. My question to you, was the President aware of Israel striking that gas field? Did you approve it? And please, if you may, do you see any signs that the Iranian regime is collapsing? And what assurances do you give the Israeli public that if it does stand on its feet, we will not see another wave of a war with Iran in maybe 5 or 10 years?
Well, I'll say two things. Fact number one, Israel acted alone against the Slawiya gas compound. Fact number two, President Trump asked us to hold off on future attacks, and we're holding out. What do we see?
Ooh, they got
What
in
happens
trouble.
are there any signs that the Iranian regime is cracking? A lot of signs. A lot of signs. I wish I could divulge all of them, but I see that. But will I tell you, will I commit right now that it's going to collapse? I can tell you that we're working to create the conditions for it to collapse. But it may survive, it may not. If it survives, it'll be a lot weaker. There's no comparison. It'll be at its weakest point. Shorn of industries that it built over decades, death industries, shorn of many other capabilities that they have, and equipped with the experience, with the knowledge that if they try it again, they'll be hit again even harder. I cannot tell you of the technological developments that we are engaged in to anticipate this and other possibilities. But Israel has shown that it can do wondrous things. And in partnership with our American allies, we can do amazing things. Amazing things. As Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, said, these are the two most amazing air forces in the world. It's the two most amazing intelligence services in the world. It has the capabilities to confront these barbarians and to outstrip them, both in innovation and, when necessary, in lethality. It's directed, it's targeted lethality. It's going against the killers, and as much as possible to avoid civilian casualties. We have those capacities. We're building them for the future. That is what safeguards the future. You know, if people want to be naive, then they don't see the kind of world we're living in. In this world, it's not enough to be moral. It's not enough to be just. It's not enough to be right. You know, one of the greatest
Is it not?
writers of the 20th century, someone that I admire a lot, was the historian Will Durant. Now, he wrote many volumes. I read most of them. He also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves
Not a lot
that,
of lessons learned.
unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths. We have to be strong. We have to be armed. We have to be more powerful than the barbarians, or they will not be merely at the gate. They'll crash
Third
the gates and
barbarian
destroy our
drop.
societies. That's what Israel is doing now with the United States.
Barbarian
I'm very
counters
proud
up
of
to
the fact that
3.
the Israeli people are standing strong, that the Israeli army is standing strong. We rose from October 7th. Our people, our soldiers, rose like lions. But in protecting ourselves and in joining with our great American friends, we're also protecting the entire world.
Thank you. Next question, Tom Burridge from ABC News.
Hi, Tom Burridge, ABC News. Prime Minister, given the escalation of attacks on US allies across the Gulf, given the spiraling energy costs, the high costs in general that the US service personnel killed in this war, many Americans are asking that question, whether you misled their government into starting this war, and for how long should Americans keep paying the price?
Well, I misled no one, and I didn't have
Damn,
to
were we
convince President
duped?
Trump about the need to prevent Iran from developing its nuclear program, putting it underground, and being able to launch nuclear-tipped missiles at the United States. He understood that.
Did he
explained
sell
it to me,
Trump a
I explained it to him.
lemon?
And I think that our partnership is the only way to avoid this catastrophic development. The loss of servicemen is painful. Early on in my military service, a fellow soldier died in my arms. I lost a brother who fought terrorists, led the historic Entebbe rescue. The cost to bereaved families is enormous, and I sympathize and send the condolences of the people of Israel to these families and to the American people. Freedom is precious. It has its costs. But if you're not prepared to defend it, if you're not prepared to resist the tyrannies that are trying to arm themselves with the weapons of mass death, you will have no future. And therefore, we're doing what we can.
This has
As far as
been
oil
the
prices
same
rising,
story for
spikes, you know what a
100
spike
years.
is?
You know, it's just
You know what a
like...
spike is? It goes up and goes down. The Americans are working very hard, and we're trying to help them in every way that we can to open the straits of Hormuz. And if they succeed, which I think they will, then oil prices will come down. But if you say, all right, I'm suffering right now and people are, then I shouldn't do anything. I should just succumb to the blackmail. Let Iran get on with it. Let them develop nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles to deliver them to New York and Los Angeles. You're going to be blackmailed in ways that you can't even imagine. I think what
New
this
York and
war
Los
has done is
Angeles.
unmask what Iran is.
Who gives a shit
And
about
we've
Los
said for years,
Angeles?
look at these
Wouldn't it
people.
be smarter
They're
to
doing
hit
things
like
that
Seattle
normal
or
regimes
something?
do not do.
Support
I
more
don't
of a
hear
port city.
even adversaries of the United States chanting death
Whatever.
to America, death to the great Satan, massacring tens of thousands of their own people at will like that in 2 days. You have that sometimes. But the combination of fanaticism, deep ideological lunacy, there's no other way to call it.
I don't think that Los Angeles is a very smart military target, honestly. I don't think I would waste a missile on it. What's there anymore of value for that? And even New York to that extent. Like, you're just blowing up civilians. Why not hit military bases? Wouldn't that be like Florida's pretty solid for that? I don't know.
The total and utter ruthlessness.
Why?
of this
Who
regime
cares about
makes it
nuking
uniquely
LA
dangerous.
though?
Uniquely
You know,
dangerous
like,
not only to
why?
Israel and to the United States,
Blow up
but to everything in between
blow
and
up
far
Skid
beyond.
Row
And the
and a
fact that
few
this is not
fashion
happening.
stores.
You ask me, okay, what do people think? What did they think in the 30s?
God forbid they take our
What did they
Hollywood
think in the
from
30s?
us.
When you had a terrible, ruthless, killer regime led by a lunatic that took one country after the other, did it very sequentially. What did they say? They said what? They said, let's stay out of this. It's not our war. It's not our problem. Maybe it's only the Jews. Have we learned nothing, absolutely nothing in these 80 years? We cannot see the danger that lurks. It doesn't lurk. It's risen from the mud. It's right in our face.
It's no
splattering
longer
blood
lurking. It is
right at us.
Ouch.
I can't believe that we're clueless. We're not clueless. I talk to many American friends. They're not clueless. They understand this. Some don't. Some are adamantly opposed, but many are adopting a wait-and-see attitude. But I can tell you that I've spoken for several minutes. I've spoken to many, many leaders. We're talking about dozens and dozens of leaders. And they all say the same thing. I understand it. Some of them come out and say it. They're bold. And some of them say, I don't know. I wish I understand it. But
He's
some of my
making
people
me
don't.
feel
And
like
news
if
media
I
against
don't
me.
agree with him,
I
I'm
was glad to see
stupid.
in the United States
You know, that's
an enormous,
that's the vibe I'm
number,
getting.
enormous percentage of President Trump supporters, traditional
What,
supporters.
you
understand
stupid?
it. And I
Agree
hope
with
that,
me. The hell's
my
wrong?
friends and colleagues of many years on the other side of the aisle, those who understand and agree with what I
You're
just
going to
said,
agree with me?
and there are quite a few of them, have the
You're gonna
courage to
agree
come out
with
and say
me?
it.
You're
Because at the
stupid.
end,
You're
at
going
the
to
end,
buy
what is
this
the
car
task of
right
leaders?
now
Of
for the
leaders?
price on the
The
sticker
most important thing
and drive
the
it off
most
the lot or
important
you're an
thing
idiot.
is to assure the security of your people. And that means identifying danger in time.
I'm out of coffee. I'm
and
getting
acting
bored.
against it. That is a prerequisite for the survival of any biological organism. You have to identify danger in time and act in time against it. You either fight or flight. These are the two options you have. Where can you flee? Nowhere. Because Iran can reach any part of the world. So you have to, at a certain point, fight. And this is the juncture where we reach in time. Not too late, but in time. I just will encourage all those who agree with what President Trump is saying, with what I'm saying to act. I didn't have to convince President Trump of anything. He didn't need any convincing. He acted, as a great leader does, to protect his country and to protect the future.
Thank you. Next question. Alex Trayman from JNS. JNS, right behind you, yes.
Was that an
Mr.
answer
Prime
or
Minister,
a speech?
Hezbollah has opened up another front.
My
against
God,
Israel,
it's the
launching
guy
rockets
from
against Israeli
JNS.
civilians. Now ground troops are inside Lebanon. Is there any hesitancy toward launching a full ground operation to eradicate Hezbollah? And what would eradicating Hezbollah do to transform Israel-Lebanon relations and the greater Middle East?
Look, Alex, I can't divulge our battle plans. Obviously, Hezbollah is not what Hezbollah had been. I said in my opening remarks in Hebrew that they were talking about 150,000 rockets and missiles that they had, ballistic missiles. They had thousands of Ridwan terrorists right next to our fence underground, ready to invade. And we knocked them back. We destroyed the bulk of their missile capacity in 6 hours. We knocked out Nasrallah. We destroyed all the Hamas, or rather all the Ridwan infrastructure right next to our border. We now have a security corridor, a security zone that is there that prevents this kind of invasion. And we have plans for the future. Obviously, our number one effort is geared towards Iran. If the regime goes, you know that Hezbollah goes. But in any case,
Can you imagine if this
devising the
wasn't
plans in
at
such a way that we could,
1.5 speed, how
remove the
boring
threats.
it would be?
Thank you. Final question from Jeremy Diamond at CNN.
Mr. Prime Minister, Jeremy Diamond, CNN.
He said final question. I got
You
excited.
assassinated
I'm like,
Iran's
thank
supreme
God.
leader and dozens of other senior Iranian
It
officials.
reminds me of that feeling when I was younger and you're sitting in church or at school and they're just like, all right, well, this is the last thing of the day. You're like, oh, thank God, I've survived. I've almost survived another day. I've almost survived another political speech from these fucking they live characters who just sit up here and repeat the same story. That's confusing to me because I've known a lot of people who are like obsessed with all this politics stuff. it's just the same story every day. It'll be like they'll pick a topic for the week. This week it's like ring the gong of whatever, the gong of danger. So all we're going to hear all week is about the gong of danger and Winston Churchill and the 47 years, bottom of the sea, these repeating phrases like a word cloud. They keep repeating it over and over. I guess that's why people watch the news, because then they put their little own spin on it, Because like just sitting there watching that, man. I was doing it not recording my reaction, and I was like, why am I doing this? I was still reacting, but to myself, so it just seemed kind of useless.
Officials. The result of that so far has been the appointment of a new supreme leader considered to be even more hardline than his father. The Iranian regime is not showing any signs of collapse as of now. So I wonder, what do you say to those who say that killing those individuals is in fact empowering the hardliners in Iran? And are you confident that your strategy will still lead to regime change? And then secondly, if I may, you've also indicated today that you made a commitment to President Trump not to strike these oil and gas facilities in the future. Should President Trump come to you one day and say, oil prices are too high, it's time to end this war, will you listen to him? And do you need the United States in order to continue this campaign alone?
Was that a single question?
No, it wasn't. It was about
I'll answer your
5.
questions. I'm not sure who's running Iran right now. Mujtaba, the replacement Ayatollah, has not shown his face. Have you seen him? We haven't. And we can't vouch exactly what is happening there. There is a cloud here that's not clear. What we see...
It's cloudy. It's murky.
There's a lot of tensions
Dark.
inside the people who are edging for the top.
This is 1.5 speed.
You see that
It
sometimes
feels
with the
slow
contradictory,
and boring.
orders that are given. They do one thing and then they withdraw it and so on. I think it's
Let's
important
just
that
for
they
a
know
second
that
see
if they
how
think they're
slow
gonna
he's
target the world,
actually speaking.
target the president
right?
of the United States and so on, they themselves are being
Right.
targeted. That creates a lot of uncertainty. We found
Oh
that
my
can have an
god.
effect. The removal of of Nasrallah has never been. Really,
Oh my god. I have a theory that
never
Obama started this type of thing. As like they talk really slow so you stop paying attention, and they don't have to like lie or anything. They just keep saying nonsense really slowly so you just stop paying attention after a while, because they know the human attention span can't focus. We have today, March 19th, 2026, initiated a plan to go get another cup of coffee. And while we're doing that, I could go on all day, but it's like I just turned a 5-second sentence, hey, I'm going to go get another cup of coffee, into a 3-minute speech. Very tactical,
really been
very
replaced because
icky.
some people are not replaceable. I
That's
think
why
the
you gotta
authority
crank that
and
piece
the
up.
hold that,
1.5. Can you believe that? Though
Khomeini
it's
has
just
had
like
is not going to be translated.
Grandpa's
to anyone, not to
boring
Mr. Life
me.
is there, and not to anyone else. But I think this is part of the effort to crack the regime. It's not going to happen in one day. We're 20 days into this war. Yes, we're seeing cracks. We're seeing cracks.
cracks are
And we're trying to
showing.
propagate them.
Bottom of the
We
sea.
can. Not only in the top command, we're seeing cracks in the field. It's sort of like a hollowed out, rotten piece of wood that's holding on the outside, but there's a lot of rot inside. We're seeing some defections. We're seeing
some
fear and trepidation
disgusting
in the
analogy
RGC units
too,
that
like-
are manning the ballistic missiles. You know why? Because they're afraid to die. They're not all suicidal. In fact, most of them are not. So we're seeing cracks, but we're going to hit them again and again. The minimum thing we want to do is, again, erase the industrial capacity that they had to produce these weapons. They'll have to build it from a start, and that's very hard. It's very hard to do underground, too. So they're not going to be able to just take the pieces and move them below the earth. It's going to be a lot harder for them. But ideally, if it cracks enough, and with some other things that I won't get into, yes, the regime could change. Is it guaranteed? No. And is it up to the Iranian people in the final accounting to make use
Obviously
of the conditions that
not.
we're doing in weakening this regime? We'll see. I cannot tell you.
We'll
They're very
see.
brave, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't come and criticize them in any way. I think they're very brave. I think they've suffered enormously. And the question is, will we have a meeting ground between the weakening of the regime and the rising of the people in many ways that could develop? We'll see. On the oil and gas questions, I can only tell you this. Look, I don't think
Look,
any two leaders have been as coordinated as President Trump and I. He's the leader. I'm, his ally. America is the leader. Israel is
Henchman?
as the National Security Memorandum described us, I think, a month ago. 6
Co-managers.
weeks ago, I think, something like that. They called Israel.
remember in The Office when they do Jim and Michael as the managers? And it just doesn't work. That's what you got here.
the model
Michael Scott right here. Look at him.
it's not a superpower, but America is seeking around the world, and you hear it from the speeches of President Trump and others.
And then Trump is Jim. He just looks at the camera and goes like, I don't know what they're talking about.
They say, "Where are you? You know, we've helped you all these years. Where are you when we're doing something that is as important,
Look
least
at
as
the
important for you
camera.
as important for us?" And yet one country is there, and against all the
Hey, viewer at home, are you experiencing the same shock I am?
vilifications that are leveled at Israel. Israel is sponging off America and all that. No, it's not. It's not.
That's it.
Israel is.
He's basically just doing a he's doing the level 1 morning podcast. He's just addressing the haters for 30 minutes. This is what my detractors have said, and this is my reply. You're an idiot. You're a dunce.